All right. Well, hello everyone. My name is Michael, and today I'm playing Night Shift 1999 for the Choose Wisely Festival hosted by Studio Fuwa. Now, this game, we are going to be doing a night shift, but we have vampirism. One thing before I start this game, I really enjoy the 1-bit style this has. Like, I see all the advertisements for this game, and the art just looks really cool. Like, it's very, I guess, nostalgic. Like, it may sound weird that I'm saying that it's nostalgic for me, but I'm kind of getting some memories from like old, 20th century video games, like the adventure games that you would get on the old PCs. So yeah, let's get started. Okay. Ooh. Oh, that's cool. I enjoy the 1-bit music as well. Kind of sounds metal. I think that was a crowd of people leaving the train. Night Shift 1999. Are there like things around the 1999? Alright. It's been a long time since I've been in a city like this one. Okay. I'm also like looking at the other signs. Love Girls International, Pizza, The Kebab House Lebanese, and Theodore Hotel. Long enough that I can't recognize the cars and buildings anymore. Tram, sure. Trains I get too. Not much different than before, but these things? These roads are cramped more than the sidewalks. At least the pandemonium isn't anything different. In fact, the chaos seems organized compared to what it's been like in the past. There's still the odd fool to walk straight out into the street, but the braking is quicker and there's no horses to contend with now. I looked through the lease I signed a couple weeks ago. It wasn't easy finding a place that doesn't care if you're employed or not, so I really don't know what to expect from my new dwelling. Money. That'll be another problem soon too. I nearly passed through the bustling bodies of people wandering the streets. It's getting quieter the further I walk, but there's still groups of partygoers clustered together. All this close to... I was reading the incorrect line. This close to people after. God, it's been too many years to count. All I've had is a crypt and a corpse for company. It's intoxicating. I turn a corner, and there it is. My new home, dazzling with bright, shining lights in every window. The building towers over the suburbs for eons, the tallest thing in the area, and I can't help my apprehension. All these apartments, this close together? How many warm bodies are packed in there like sardines? Maybe the crypt was a better option. I walk through the sliding doors and get started. 10 floors is the way to go. Lofty ceilings, fully functional kitchenette, and plenty of room to grow. That's what the flyer had said when I picked it out. Apart from there being plenty of room to grow, it seems true to its word. I've had what meager belongings I could scrounge together sent over already. Boxes clutter the room, spread around without much thought or care. And of course, a new bed. Since I've been asleep, there's been a boom in ease of shopping. I never thought I'd see the day where you buy something over the phone. But humans are nothing if not industrious, especially when it comes to convenience. The world runs on it. The only issue now is a huge window stretching across the entirety of the studio. That's not going to be conducive to my particular lifestyle. Weaving through my clutter, I take in the scenery. It's such a shame to cover up this view. Oh, that's the Sydney Opera House I just noticed. The hike up the stairs would be worth it if you could say good morning to the world each day. From up here, you can tell all the boats in the harbor, lazily drifting on the sea. There's tiny, illuminated dots in the distance over the bridge, moving carefully as people make their way to their own homes. The city is in perpetual movement, no matter where you look. I miss all the fireworks. having been underground while everyone was ushered in 1990, while everyone ushered in 1999. But it's still so bright out there, full of restless energy and the type of exuberance you can only see once a year. I've never seen a city so bright before tonight. Every corner I look at is lit up, rivaling even the night sky itself. Actually, where are the stars? They've been dim in turn, turning the sky into a deep, endless blue. Yeah, I kind of see that blue. Well, a lot of this game is like blue and white for me. I wonder what it'll look like in another 20, 50, 100 years? Smog used to overshadow everything. Now new gases do. I know with certainty that one day it will suffocate itself into silence. Though who can say for sure that I will be there to see that? No matter how many times I go and come back, I never feel any older. I'm always just as starstruck as a newborn, forced to learn everything over and over for eternity. Well, here goes try number 5. I've come well prepared for this. Grabbing the stack of paper from my backpack, I start sticking it to the glass panes. Goodbye, world. Hello, sanctuary. Well, it's the first time I've done it in a while. It's nothing I'm unaccustomed to. Wherever I resettled, it's what I do before anything else. After all, there's nothing scarier than daylight. Bit by bit, the landscape is covered up by flyers for album releases, upcoming movies, and cleaning services. I can't help but eye the few job listings I picked up along the way, too. It's hard finding employment when your academic references are over 100 years old. And if you got a gap in your history just about as long as that. But it's sink or swim, now more than ever, alone for the first time in my life, truly alone. I need to figure out how I'm going to live again. Even as antiquated as I am by now, there's nothing research can't fix. Naturally, that's exactly what I did before finalizing my move. Stepping back, I admire my handiwork before reaching into my bag once again. A resume. My resume. Neatly typed and printed. It turns out that typewriters have since been replaced during my absence, but I can't say it's for the worse. I rather like what I've seen of computers thus far. With some help from an internet cafe attendant, who gave me more than a few confused glances, I was able to come up with this. They'll have to forgive my lack of a headshot, but really, there's nothing I could do about that unless I mailed the portrait of my sire. Mailed the portrait my sire gave me along with it. Come tomorrow, I'll be dropping off my copies to every business in the area, but tonight, I can relax. It'll be good to get a real feel for this place. It's been a long journey here, and an even longer journey before that. I think of my sire. I think of the first few months I was reintroduced to the world. I think of what it means to be without her now. But no matter. People come and go. A fresh start is exactly what I need to do exactly that. I climb into my coffin and close the lid. An early night sounds pretty good right now. As darkness welcomes me once again, sleep cats over me like a shroud. Despite it being the middle of winter, I can scarcely feel a chill. There's nothing but an overwhelming numbness spreading across my body. Here, look, right there, on the side of the neck. And I bite. That's it? Oh, wait. Izura. Has there been dialogue on the left side of the screen this whole time, or was it just narration? Hopefully I was not missing the names this whole time. Okay, there is narration, so I was not missing the names on the side. She sighs gently, letting out a laugh, half a laugh. The Tsar. Nazar. I think it's Nazar. It might be Nazar. It's a bit more complicated than that, but yes, bite. The person under me can't be more than a few years older than I am right now. What is he? 28? 29? I bite down. More than once. A lot more than once. All the while, my sire tries to guide my head to the right spot. She's speaking softly, her voice fading into the background as my ears fill with the rush of blood. a heartbeat thrumming hard and fast. It's not my own anymore. Mine stopped the day I was left in that shallow grave, a brick between my teeth and my hands tied behind my back. A false accusation, but people were scared and superstitious. Ironic that I end up turning into the very thing they were afraid of, a vampire through and through. Now, this is the closest I'll ever get to being alive again. When I'm taking someone else's. That's better. She hums, her head stroking my hair. Next time, let's try not to take a chunk out of a shoulder, alright? I'm gonna check the pronunciation the same. I actually don't know how to pronounce this name. I'm thinking it's Nazar, but I don't know if it's Nazar. Hold on. Is it Nassar? I am so sorry. Yeah, I want to know the pronunciation of this name. Might be it.
Nazar.
Nazar. Okay, so it's Nazar. Okay. It's Nazar. Okay, not Nassar, it's Nazar. Okay, I was thinking correctly, Nazar. She's so amused, so assured. It's like there is nothing wrong with this at all. Maybe it's true. It's only natural. The words echo around me, and all I'm left with is the feeling of her tender touch. It never feels like any time passes at all when I'm locked away in my coffin. It stretches on into an eternal night. Oh well, no time to dwell on that. First things first, I should look at a map. Or maybe the yellow pages? Or both? That sounds best. I know I want to take a look at the hospital down the road, St. Vincent's. Not that my medical knowledge will do much with how things have evolved since I was last practicing, but maybe there will be some sort of vacancy, porter or cleaner or orderly? At this point, anything will do. I'm also getting hungry. That's an understatement. It's been a few months since I last had anything at all, and abstinence is not my forte. For all my years being submerged into this world, it's still my least favorite part. Deep down, I don't want to hurt anyone, but if I don't take care of this soon, there might be a bigger problem on my hands. I can look for something, or someone, down the road, but it's a bit close to home. Then there's that street that runs past the park. Not to mention, the coastline might be a safe bet too. I have a few options. St. Vincent's, Darlinghurst Road, Park Street, or Elizabeth Bay. I mean, in the case that we, bite someone's neck and suck out all their blood and they die, it might be easier to dump the body in the bay. It takes some time to move past the hustle and bustle of the roads, but as I turn downhill, there's a lot less people scattered and far more quiet. I know it's still the turn of the new year, but it's been a long time since I have lived somewhere as highly populated as this. It's nice to feel the thrum of the city, to feel the energy of every living being, but it can be overwhelming too. Everything is so new and shiny, it's hard to know where to look and what to do. I felt a slow, mounting pressure to get things done ever since I awoke from my slumber and began my plans to move here. And now that I've arrived, it feels like there's an entire world that I have to get to know before I can be accepted into it. I'm not sure if I'll ever truly be welcomed, but it would be nice to. I continue walking down the hill, feeling the crisp breeze of a summer's evening blow past me. The best part of being awake at this hour is that the heat of the day has died down, leaving only its remnants now that the sun is set. It's still sticky and hot, but it's less oppressive, less demanding. Even though most of my automatic nervous system has been rerouted in my own life, I still don't enjoy overheating. Perhaps it's just a hangover of a habit, something my body and mind got used to, but I'm not going to let go of it yet. It's nice to feel connected in ways such as these, too. However, this might not be the best place to find a meal. There are houses aplenty, lights on in the windows, and cars quietly parked for the night, but I don't feel like adding breaking and entering onto my resume, especially in a neighborhood I've only just joined. I doubt anyone would suggest that is a way to meet people and make new friends. It's as I'm approaching the coast, I notice a figure on the horizon. Someone swimming? The lamps don't work down here, and the only light in the area is what the moon has decided to provide, obscured by rock and sea foam. I try to make out the details of the silhouette a mystery. Well, we're about to be feeding, so do we want to be sneaky or do we want to, make us be known? Let's go ahead and just save real quick. Yeah, quick save. Or I could do a normal save. Yeah, let's do a normal save. Okay, approach quietly or call out to them. We want to scare them and make us known or approach quietly. Let's approach quietly. Everything about me has been carefully chiseled and honed to be a hunting machine, subtle and foreboding. Keeping to the shadows isn't difficult. The waves are strong tonight, crashing and lapping at the limestone, and providing the perfect cover for me to sink closer. The person I've found myself sneaking up on keeps diving underneath the water, her hair long enough that it stays near the surface, inking against the dark waters. I hadn't anticipated it, but perhaps midnight divers could be a new food source. It's been a long, long time since I last swam, longer than I can even count. I can't tell anymore if the memories I have of sand underneath my feet and water rushing over them happened while I was alive or not. There's no myth I'm aware that vampires can't swim, but tonight, it seems I'll be putting it to the test. It's only as I continue closer, keeping as slow as possible as I move down the steps, does something else catch my attention. There's movement underneath the water, rhythmic yet powerful in its strokes. Whatever. There's very little on this earth that can fight back. Everything I touch eventually comes under my control. In my haste, I manage to overlook it, moving quickly into a pounce as I leap off the side and into the water. Time seems to go to a stop, droplets sprinkling around us as the moonlight glistens, shine and scale. Scale? As I finally finish diving underneath, do I see exactly what I interrupted. The woman's eyes widen, her gills pulsating, and the real star of the show, her tail swinging directly at my head. Okay, I was not expecting that one. Mermaid? I take the hit. Pure muscle that would have knocked me unconscious if I wasn't already dead. Instead, my ears ring, and the world underwater spinning, but I stay alert. Somehow, I find my way to the surface and feel the cool air of the evening greet me. It doesn't matter, though, because I'm not up there for long. She grabs my waist and drags me back down, swimming faster than I could have imagined. Not that I ever underestimated murder people, but I didn't think my first meeting would be attempted murder. Touché. She continues to beat against the water as it turns icy, and the view of the sky overhead slowly fading. I can still feel her heartbeat despite it all, hammering violently against where I'm pressed to her body. Whatever meal I had on my lips has been replaced by curiosity now, and a touch of dull fear. I won't die. I can't die. But the pressure around us continues to mount, crushing us. Me. It's as darkness, true darkness, settles in that she turned to look at me, her unexpected prey. When she sees me staring back at her, my chest still, but my eyes blinking, do I show her a smile, all teeth but no malice, despite how our first meeting has been going. She stares at me and flushes. It then begins our ascent. I gladly stay limp in her arms. Did you try to bite me? Oops, caught red-handed. At least she seems amused. Yeah, I thought you were swimming. Uh-huh. Well, you weren't wrong, but maybe next time, don't ambush people. Even if I was some human, you probably would have killed me. Then she looks me up and down. I suppose that's only natural for you, though, right? Ouch. You don't see me admonishing you for trying to kill me. You had no idea I was a vampire. You didn't care. The conversation has taken a turn quite quickly. I was only defending myself. You attacked me. Yeah, and I'm sure going straight to manslaughter is a proper way to deal with that. What? Do you like doing that to unsuspecting swimmers? I don't know why I'm getting so defensive. For all intents and purposes, she's not wrong, and I've made an ass of myself. I'm not the only one who has to watch their back. Every person who lives on the fringes of society has felt that anxiety, knows how quickly friend could turn to foe. It's not wrong protecting yourself. She looks hurt and a little angry. I sigh and drag myself out of the water, onto the pavement. Sorry, that was uncalled for. Let's start over. She takes a long look at me. Okay, but don't make me regret it though. I'm Sune. Sune? I think it's Sune. Sune. I'm gonna actually look that up as well. Is it Sune, Sone? There we go. Sune. Okay, so it's Sune. Sune. I reach out my hand, and she takes it, emerging out of the water to sit next to me. Isura, it's nice meeting you. I didn't realize this was such a lively bay. I've moved in, just up the road. Don't think it will stay that lively if you keep that routine up. I shoot her a look, but all she does is smile back at me. I guess I could let that slide. I did start this after all. But it's nice to see a new face. I don't get many visitors around here due to all this. She waves dismissively at her tail, and yeah, I get the point. It's odd to run into a mermaid alone. Every tall tale I ever heard of has always painted them as communal creatures, traveling together wherever that may be. Completely unlike the existence I found myself in. Rare to find another one of me, let alone get along with them. The most luck you often have is sitting with your sire until it eventually ends in tragedy, whether at your hand, theirs, or some meddling hunter. It's not that unusual to move from town to town, never welcome and never quite at home. It's everything that mer people are supposed to be the opposite of. Their home is wherever they are, and whoever they're with. Why is that? Tits for a new face then? Let's go with tits for a new face then. Actually, let's... How many save files do I get? Oh, I get a lot. 4. Okay, I get 28 save slots, so 4 pages. Alright, time to do some save scumming. Other than don't kill people and try to keep your head down, well, I think you'll figure it out pretty quick. How long have you been... She waves her hand around. Like that. I wink. A lady never tells. Besides, I like to think I'm young at heart. Now you're sounding your age. Alright, I think I get the picture. I'll be staying here for a while, though. I hope. I can't say I hope for the same myself, but... She looks out into the distance as she trails her head in the water. It's a nice place. Different, but nice. You really won't find many people down here. I'm serious. It's dead this time. It's dead at this time of night, and I don't know the intricacies of your diet. So you do better further up the road. Duly noted. It's very peaceful. Not so much during the day. You'd be surprised. I have to swim quite a bit further out, and the boats are horrendous. She punctuates that with a noise of disgust, and I can't help but wonder if the bay looks the same as it does from my window. It's fascinating from above, but I never thought about it from below. I've had a hard enough time blending in with the increased technology and industrialization. I suppose not even the seas are safe from it now either. I suppose I must have interrupted your alone time then. Sorry for that. Sune scrunches up her nose. Whether that's a good expression or a bad one, I'm not quite sure, but she doesn't sound upset when she speaks again. It might have been a blessing in disguise. You never know. I've not spoken to anyone in a while. I was curious about that. Why? Did the tale not tip you off? I can't exactly talk to every passerby. No, I didn't mean that. Where's the rest of your clutch? She looks a little stricken and a lot more apprehensive than I could have expected. I should have expected this to be a sensitive topic, but I'm not sure what I was thinking, really. Maybe I'm being too straightforward with someone I barely know, and who barely likes me. The vulnerability of being on your own. Now that's something I can relate to. I'm not sure. Kinda lost them on the way here, but I'm bound to be heading back the way I came soon. She perks up at the end of that statement, and I take that as my cue not to dig any deeper than I already have. Oh, so I guess I won't be seeing you again. Sorry for such a bad first and last impression. The water on everything has started to dry in the remaining heat of the day, and I can barely feel the chilly breeze of the evening settle in. I look up at the sky again, obscured by a canopy of trees and clouds slowly rolling in. The time for apologies has long passed now. You're redeeming yourself already. Then she narrows her eyes. Not her gaze, her eyes. Maybe I'm still making up my mind about you. Well, I promise not to attack you again. Truce. Sune laughs as she takes my hand to shake it. Alright, truce. I can't say it's not nice to speak freely to someone again. I smile at her, teeth explicitly not bared, before leaning back on the pavement. Me too. It's... I can't even say how long it's been. Can't even say how long... Let's redo that. It's been... Can't even say how long it's been. Hey, how long have you... A loud crash from nearby cuts me off before I can finish my sentence, and I rub around to see what could have caused the commotion. There's nothing in sight, but paws against concrete, a knocked over bin, decidedly non-human shuffling. Some sort of animal, for sure. Nothing to worry about. Must be some cat. Anyway, Sune? I turn around to find no one there. I suppose that's my cue to leave too. Let's go back to St. Vincent's. Festivities are still in full swing, it seems. It was bumper to bumper all the way here, and people have continued to loudly celebrate the new year, the last year of the millennium. Who would have thought I'd ever see the day? As exciting as all that is, it's been very busy on the sidewalk, and that does not bode well for what it's going to be like inside the hospital. There's a queue of ambulances outside the ER, and that's not mentioning the horde inside. This is where someone who values your time might turn around, come back the day after, and speak with the admin then, but I'm on a deadline. It's not like there's an abundance of cafes who desperately need someone working from 7 p.m. onwards. Here goes nothing. And somehow, I managed to walk straight into someone. Great. So much for inhuman resilience when I can't even manage to coordinate myself. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean... It's fine, it's fine. Then he mutters, more to himself than anyone else. Not the first time it's happened today. The nurse I just crossed into doesn't look that upset at least. Mostly tired. There are dark rings under his eyes, and it looks like he might fall asleep where he stands. He looks really tired. I mean, he is working the night shift at a hospital. I don't know how long night shifts last these days, but I wouldn't be surprised if his has run into the 18th hour. More importantly, he's poised to keep on walking. I look down at his name tag. Isaac, before you go, I'm a little lost. Do you know where HR is? I'm trying to find the hiring manager. There's a beat of silence before he answers, almost like he's a million miles away. Then he sats back. Yeah, go straight down the hall, then take a right. If you keep going, you'll see Chris's office. And with that, he's off. I don't mind that. Better get straight to the point. I mean, he's probably very busy being a nurse. And straight back to what I was doing. Oop. His instructions were clear enough, but that's not why I'm meandering. I had known this was a risk to get a job at a place so tightly packed with so many beating hearts, but I hadn't expected it to be like this. There's a plethora of open wounds, bloody bandages, and more. It is a hospital! Even beneath the smell of industrial-strength bleach and antiseptic. I can barely think right now, barely move a muscle as my eyes find themselves lingering on a patient that's been left in the hallway. I won't be having the luxury of feeding before every shift. Can I really work a job in an environment like this? I've only just managed to claw myself back from the abyss. Maybe it's wrong to surround myself with so many vulnerable people, so many humans at the mercy of my own impulses. I force myself to breathe in deeply. No, this is going to be my life now. There's no better time than the present to turn over a new leaf. I'll have to learn to temper myself, but at the end of the day, the only thing that could stop me is me. I promptly moved past the patient laid up in the bed, deciding to dedicate myself in earnest to dropping off my new resume and discussing the upcoming interview. There will be time to ponder over what happened there, but I don't need to get caught up in it right now. What's important is that I confirm my interview and get out of here. Too many temptations, too much chaos. I don't need to walk much further because there I am, face to face with the office I've been seeking. I wrap my knuckles on the door and open it up after my voice yells, "Come in!" "Hey, good evening!" He gives me no chance to speak, already ushering me inside and closing the door behind me. "Now, don't tell me, Mary!" No, I'm actually here to inquire about the orderly position. Ezra, I sent you an email. Ezra, of course! Nice to put a face to the name. Here, hand that right over here. Leave it with me, and we'll be in touch about an interview. And taking a look at this already. He trails off, furrowing his brows as he reads through the paper. I brace myself. There's not a huge amount of experience I could put down, considering all my references are dead, and my degree is quite useless. Let's hope I don't have to bust out the fake birth certificate next, because as much as I try to make it bulletproof, I don't know how much it could hold up to the scrutiny of an institution. I'll think you'll do just fine. You've got all your health and safety done. That's the important part, and we're happy to give people a chance here. Then he drops his tone lower and winks. And between you and me, there's not enough people lining up for the dirty work. Yeah, it's a buyer's economy. No, that's not what that saying means, but he still chuckles along with my awkward laugh. Same email address. Have you got a best contact number? Not presently. I recently moved and I'm still getting my landline set up, so... No cell? Well, that's fine. Keep an eye on your inbox and we'll talk then. As quick as he whisked me into the room, he sent me off on my way. Seems like a busy guy, but hey, I won't complain. At least it seems like I got a solid lead with this path. It's been a while since I worked a proper, real job, but this will be a nice change. Independence, productivity. Who could have seen me back here after all this time? It's too early to think of the future, of continuing education and career paths and promotions, but it feels like the start of something good and new. Now, was there anything else left on my to-do list? Do we need food? Okay, let's reconvene then. There's hardly any time left in my day. With the sun fast approaching and the world I've since become estranged to has begun waking up, I can see the sky start to turn pale and blue. As much as I love the summer months, with everything around me blooming with life and color, I find myself being locked out of the very best of it. The nights are short, and the days are long, and even if my world teems with people of every kind, I am not one of them, and I never will be. But even if someone in this position might find themselves overwhelmed with loneliness, I can't help but still feel connected with it all. It's hard to feel down when the weather is warm. Fruit bats are shrieking the skies, and the cockatoos are screeching as they squabble and swarm. Lazily trailing my way back home, I watch the clouds pass by me, and people on their morning commutes start to find their ways to cars, taxis, and the like. There's a few that were out late, tired and jovial, finding their way back to their beds, the same as I. Today was successful. I don't have all the answers yet, but I at least know there's a way forward out of this uncertainty. I could really see myself living a life here. There was a time where I never thought about money, sustainability, staying grounded in one place. Worry wasn't something I ever concerned myself with, but now I'm intimately acquainted with it. I can't alienate myself, though. I know just as well as anyone else that if the bodies start piling up right outside my doorstep, I won't have a place to turn to. With such a high concentration of, well, let's say strangeness in this area, I wouldn't be surprised if the other side of the coin has been attracted to this place too. Hunters, to be exact. It's a new world, but it's not that new. I'll need to keep a low profile and balance some of my accidents accordingly. Why as if the hiring manager, the hiring manager Chris is a hunter, and that's why he hired Ezra, because he's able to, check, I wonder if Isa is a vampire. It would be funny if the hiring manager was actually a hunter. Now that, this is the second time we were hearing about hunters. So we're going to get a hunter in this game at some point. That's one thing I do know. I found myself at the entrance of the apartment building and braced myself for the hike upstairs. It could also be Isaac, but he might be too tired from being a nurse to be a hunter as well. But you never know, he could be a hunter as well. If there's a hunter from the characters we met so far. I don't think the mermaid, Sune, is a hunter herself because she's a mer person, but we'll have to see. Here we go once again. Maybe I should get started on these boxes sometime soon. After all, I want to become a permanent fixture rather than a transient one myself. As those final thoughts drift through my mind, I find myself being pulled into my slumber. If there's one thing this eternal life has given me, it's a chance to see history come, go, and be made once more. All around me, the world develops at an alarming rate. Was it ever this fast when I was alive? All I remember are unending winters and unyielding summers, crops and ships and travel for the few, taxes for the many. My childhood seems as distant as a story as someone once recounted, as if it had happened to someone else rather than me. What I've experienced since has filled 10 lifetimes, if not more. It's a new opera season, and everything has changed once again. The clothes, the orchestra, the sound of song. It's all different in the very best way. Earlier this evening, my sire and I got to see the Paris Salon too, something that I can't have imagined happening a century ago. I found that the arts, no matter what form they come in, are the very best way to stay tethered to humanity. I lean over and whisper, Robert Le Diable, I wonder if this is how the Duke is going to be remembered evermore. From the corner of my eye, I see a smile spread across her face. I fear that it's more than solidified at this state. If it's sung a dance, humans always love a tale of a deal with the devil. Or the son of one, at least. That makes me wonder for a moment. Do you think you'll be remembered, if I will? My, you're in a contemplative mood tonight. Is that what you want? To be remembered? No, I don't think so. I'd rather still be alive. Me too. I hear the rumbles of the orchestra finishing their warm-up, and the crowd goes silent in turn. Here's to a night to remember. I blink away the scene, and find myself staring at the inside of my coffin. I can still hear the strings of the violin ringing in my ears. Normally, I found the memory would fill me with a strange sense of melancholy and longing. I'll never forget her, but I don't know if that's what she would have wanted. Or what I would have wanted either, for that matter. Maybe it's better for the sands of time to wash over her, smoothing out her features and washing them out to the sea. How do you remember someone who desperately wanted to live? How could a memory even do that justice? It's a pale comparison of the woman that I used to know. I exit my bed and get started what's to come. I got some time to kill before my interview, but it never hurts getting there early. Not to mention, I don't want to accidentally lose track of time. I could also check out the bay again and see if Sune is still there. But I haven't had a chance to make a proper meal out of something, and I don't know how much longer I can last before that becomes a problem. Let's deal with that. I feel like that would be the most logical way. Or, I could pick up some supplies from the pharmacy that I passed by on the way home the other day. It doesn't hurt to have some backup just in case anything goes wrong during dinner one of these days. Ooh, okay. You know, that might be a good call, actually. I say we should be prepared. I say we should be... I do not... I did not want to save and save file 22. Oh, no. Fuck it, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I did not mean to save there, though, but I'm doing it. No, I did not want to do save file 22. I wanted to do save file 3. There's plenty of pharmacies that dot the street, but there was one that caught my eye, which seems to be the opposite of what I was going for. Unassuming entrance, darkened windows, and doorbell to enter. The extra security might be questionable on any other street, but I can understand why the owners would have it set up this particular way. It doesn't take too long until I come across the same sturdy door. Standing out of the way of the locals on the sidewalk, I press the bell and wait. A voice crackles through the line, whisper quiet. My, what a delectable thing you are. Now, that's weird. Ah, have I piqued your interest, little mouse? Come in. I have all that you require. A less trusting person will turn the other way. But am I a less trusting person? It's been a while since my instincts for self-preservation have kicked in, considering there is little that can harm me and much that I can harm instead. But a shiver crawls its way down my spine. However, curiosity has always been my greatest fault. Yeah, I want to see who this mysterious person is. Arrogance and curiosity. I'm going. Yeah, I'm gonna save. Yeah, saving on save slot 3. Yeah, save slot 3, not 22. And I think stream's having some glitches right now. Oh, stream is glitching. I think stream is glitching right now. Oh no. Oh no, stream is glitching. I think YouTube is just not liking... I don't think YouTube's liking me right in the moment for streaming. Oh no. Yeah, I think I saw a glitch. Yep. Yep, I see that too, see. I see that too. Oh no. No, it's glitching. I'm gonna keep an eye on that as I keep on going. Like, maybe that might have been, like, the one glitch for tonight. It wasn't for a bit, though. Okay, so it wasn't glitching for a bit. I wonder if it could be an internet thing. I'm gonna do this test on Twitch later. Oh. Okay, it's still glitching. Yeah, I'm gonna do this test tomorrow on Twitch. This game might be another one I'm gonna have to, save as an archive. Yeah, I might have to do an archive of this stream. I'll have to see, though. I'll have to see. Anyways, let's go into the pharmacy. Against my better judgment, I entered the store. It was unimpressive from the entrance, but inside, it's an explosion of clutter and mess. This reminds me more of the apothecaries that I've seen in centuries past than any modern-day pharmacy. Littering the tables are flasks and poultices, herbs hanged up to dry, and specimens of every sort kept in the containers. I've certainly not walked in any ordinary store. What is most jarring of all is that the person that voice belonged to is nowhere to be found. I could have sworn they were right by the entrance, but looking around, it's almost like there's no one here at all. Right as I'm about to leave again, I hear them pipe up from further inside. You hunger, do you not? A metallic sound follows soon after, and suddenly, I see a pair of bright, glowing eyes coming from a slot in the wall. Another door? Some sort of spy hole? I instantly notice their pupils. It will be hard not to. Pinprick slits instead of the regular round I'm used to. What are you? Have you forgotten your manners during your slumber? That's no way to speak to a host. Another chill travels through me. Whoever this is knows more about me than I like. I could argue you're not being a very welcoming one. Am I not? Am I not to see you? I prefer my privacy. I'm sure you might understand why, Isra. That's my last straw. I stormed up to the hole in the wall. And who might you be? Some middleman come here to lure and kill me? No matter how thick the wall, it won't save you. You've grown short in temper with your age. I thought you might enjoy the game more. If death is what you're worried for, worry no longer. I bring you the elixir of life. It's not like I have much room to talk, considering I have an affinity for the dramatic, and I invited wherever I go. But who the hell speaks like this? I'm not leaving. I am not leaving. No, I am not leaving. I am not leaving. I want to know what's going on here. I want to know what's going on here. As much as I hate to say it, I am intrigued with the so-called elixir of life too. Establishing a way to live anywhere, but especially in this era, is fraught and difficult. So many tools of surveillance and too many rules. It's part of why I left in the first place. It's only become worse since the last time I was awake. You lot are always predictable. Here, take a look. A second slot opens in the walls, and with it, a tray peeks out with several key items on it. I'm still dubious, but I've been committed to this stupid idea of mine thus far. It wouldn't hurt to take a look. There's a bag in the back, labeled AB, and I grab it with haste. Maybe it makes me look a little desperate, but I'm past caring. With that, the tray gets snatched back, and the slot closes again. I'm left standing eye to eye with whoever is puppeteering this behind the wall. Should I ask how you got your hands on this? Or should I say pause? You can say whatever you like. I'm looking forward to getting to know you, Isra. It's been too long since we've had fresh blood around here. Judging by your wares, I wager you're lying. Are you still not going to tell me how you know my name? Oh, judging by your wares, I wager you're lying. Are you still not going to tell me how you know my name? Yes, but you may know mine. Nyx. That's as unfamiliar as this entire exchange has been. I doubt I'd be able to find this place in the local Yellow Pages, let alone anyone of that name. But maybe someone else will know more about this mystery person. I do not always have what you seek, but when you do, you'll know. It's been a pleasure doing business. You may go now. They don't need to tell me twice. I most certainly don't want to stick around any longer. I tipped my head in acknowledgement and turned to leave. At least I can get on with my evening now. Let's go to St. Vincent's. I can't lie. I have pre-interview jitters. Not in the traditional sense. That's quite a bird sound. I'm invested in getting this job, sure, but there'll always be others available if it doesn't work out. But above all else, I don't want my cover blown. These days, there's background check after background check. When they usher in the 20th century, they brought with them added security too. As much as I want everything to align when I go in today, I don't know if it will. Is it bad to say I miss how nepotism used to work? I'd much rather ingratiate myself with someone else and get a job that way without someone looking up driver's license details on a computer. Oh well, that time is long gone. Straightening out my shirt, I take a deep breath and walk into the hospital. Somehow, amongst the hustle and bustle, I managed to spot that nurse from before, Isaac. Good omen, perhaps. To no one's surprise, he looks busy as he flips through some papers in his hand. I'm not sure what's good courtesy in this situation. Would it be fine if I said hello? I don't want to encroach in on his territory. I don't even know if I'll be working here, let alone seeing him on the daily. But it wouldn't hurt to reach out. I mean, we could make a friend, but that could annoy him while he's at work. You know what? Let's see. Hey, Isaac, right? Yeah, Isaac, right? Nice to see you again. Isaac looks up for a brief second, then back down at the clipboard in his hand. I remember when that used to be me, writing down notes and handing out scalpels. Then, a few decades later, I was the one being handed the blades. There's a twinge of envy when I realize that's not going to be me in the books for any. That's not going to be in the books for me anytime soon. It's a long ladder to climb, one that's a lot harder. Being back in this environment is bittersweet. All that seems to be lost on the man in front of me, who seems more intent on getting back to work than being interrupted by someone like myself. Yeah. Good to see you two. Dead air fills the space between us. I clear my throat and keep talking. Thanks for the directions the other day, by the way. Would have taken me ages to find the right wing. Hospitals, am I right? Right. He's trying to be polite when he's very annoyed right now. He's in the middle of work. Well, I got that interview coming up in a few minutes, so hey, maybe I'll see you again soon. This time, he puts the clipboard down on the reception counter and looks at me when he talks. Oh, yeah, for sure. Good luck with that. You'll do great. Oh, he's nice! He's not annoyed with us. He's actually like, hell yeah, go get that job. He gives me an awkward pat on the arm, and then turns to walk in the other direction. I'm hoping he's not the vampire hunter. Okay, we keep on hearing stuff about vampire hunters. I bet you it's Chris, the HR manager, but it could be Isaac. I don't think it's Isaac. I'm just making an assumption. Someone's a vampire hunter. Like, someone's going to be revealed to be a vampire hunter. I think it's going to be Chris. Pat on the arm. That's got to be a step in the right direction, right? At the very least, we're building a rapport. Maybe 10 more weeks of this, and we'll have graduated to talking about the weather. I mean, that could happen in 1 week. I gather myself and get going. Because truthfully, I don't have the time to stand around and chat. The last thing I want is to show up late when I'm already here and ready. It would make sense, though, if Isaac could be the vampire. I'm really focused on figuring out who a vampire hunter is, because they keep on bringing up vampire hunters. We're going to encounter a vampire hunter, and I think it's going to be someone that we're going to trust. I still think it's going to be Chris. I start making my way down the same corridor, and once again to find Chris's office. This time, there's no body lingering for me in the hallway. At least I don't have to worry about temptations before heading in today. It wouldn't do well to lean in for a handshake and worry about the blood on my breath. I pull on my jacket, the best suit I had in my closet, despite the moth holes around the sleeve. Once, then twice, then a third time for good luck before I knock on the door to his office. Once I'm here, I shout, "Come on in!" I spent a second mentally preparing myself. Keep it vague, keep it brief, and keep it on topic. I know I can do this job. All I've got to do is make him see that too. I open the door. Let's get this over with and done. One relatively straightforward interview later, I've got the next year of my life sorted. Oh, I thought we were going to get the interview. Oh, okay. I thought we were going to get the interview. Okay. It's not the most glamorous role, but I've never been one to shy away from dirty work. It's respectable. It pays all right, and it got all the right hours. If push comes to shove, there will be easier access to food too. No more people though. Blood bags only from now on. Maybe. Not like it's much better, considering how they're in short supply and patients are the opposite. That's all to say, it ticks my every box. Now that I'm in the system, who knows, maybe I'll be signing up to night classes next. There was a bulletin in Chris's office, nice to supply with nursing courses, phlebotomy classes, and something called radiology. First though, I can't wait to buy a chest of drawers and a bedside table. I'm running out of time to get things done, and the last thing I want is to see my last sunrise again. I take my time on the walk back to the apartment, surveying my surroundings. This will be the route I take from now on, night after night. Although the sun is set to peek up beyond the horizon any minute now, it's still dark and cold in the back streets of the suburb. The trees obscure the sky, and there's wet in the air, the ever-present humidity cloaking the world with its oppressive force. there's still a sense of apprehension that punctuates my every thought. I've not gotten to know anyone yet, not really. There's been brief introductions, sure, but it's hard to break into someplace new when you're as much of a stranger as everyone else is. It's in the quiet moments, the ones where I can no longer occupy myself with mental checklists and the usual worries, that I find myself thinking of her. Even when we moved from city to city, town to town, I felt invincible. There was not a single thing we couldn't do or tackle. Life is so much easier when it's two against it all. Now that I know I'm being watched as well, the world seems to have closed in just a touch more. There's less room to breathe when I need to consider my every move. If that pharmacist, if I'm willing to call them that, has already gathered that much information on me, who else is out there keeping tabs? They don't seem much of a threat, yet, but I never anticipated my quiet lifestyle could garner so much attention. What will happen when I need to keep feeding, keep eating? The cameras in the hospital can't pick me up, but watchful eyes can see me just fine. But that's nothing I can solve now that my day is coming to an end. All I can do is make sure my vulnerabilities are accounted for. I doubt there will be anyone knocking down my door when I'm surrounded by people on all sides. But I'll need to figure out something more bulletproof. I will need to figure out something more bulletproof out. Maybe getting to know some people, really know them, should be the first step. There's likely someone out there who knows more than they're letting on, dodgy pharmacists not included. My windows are covered with more than what's necessary, but the room has become a lot brighter now that the day has started. That's my cue to get ready to sleep. I send out a silent hope that I won't see her in my dreams tonight. I like to spend some time without the same memories playing on repeat. Have you got the documents? She calls out, her voice bouncing off the halls. I don't know what room she's in, but she sounds quite far. The house has practically been torn down by the seams, the painting strewn around the floor, and clothes piling on the chaise lounge. We don't have much time. I don't know how much time we have. It could be seconds, or minutes, or hours. We've had to do this so many times that I move around the place with practiced precision, smoothing my movements as I push down the panic that's starting to boil over. I put them in the suitcase. We can go as soon as we've done one last round. Right now, I'm making sure there's no trace of where we're going. When you leave, you want to leave, right? I don't know what's changed this time, but all I know is that they're coming, and there's nothing we do about it. It almost seemed like it had been working here, but that was too much to hope for. I put the last few of my shirts into a bag. Normally they'd be folded neatly, but tonight they're shoved with careless abandon. Where are we going after this? There's no response, so I repeat myself a little louder. Nasser, where are we? I heard you. Her voice breaks as she trails off, and I find my feet taking me to her before I can even recognize what I'm doing. She's huddled in the center of the bed, a few framed photos surrounding her like a halo. I've never seen her look so small. I kneel in front of her, resting my hand on her knee. Hey, what's wrong? What happened? She doesn't cry. I don't think I've ever seen her, but she looks like she is, regardless of the fact that her cheeks are dry. I'm tired of this. I don't want to leave again. I'm pulled out of the dream with such severity that it takes me a moment to realize I'm not looking directly at her anymore, that I never was in the first place. If I keep staring, I can almost see her outline in front of me in the darkness of my coffin. I can't even tell that happened. There were so many repeats of the same scene, so much uncertainty in our lives that it's rare to remember the times we could stay somewhere than the times we were forced to leave. I try to push the memory out of my mind. It'll do me good not to dwell on the past, even if I can slowly feel it beginning to repeat itself. I don't want to be forced to leave, not without her, not ever again. I sigh and take my leave, ignoring the mess around me as I try to gather what wits I have left. It doesn't feel good starting my day this way, but what can I do? Life goes on. No! It's buffery again! Yeah, I definitely saw stream buffering again. There might be some skips in the recording. Yeah, there's some jumping on the stream, like the weird errors that I've been getting recently. I'm gonna keep an eye on that, but I'm gonna keep going for tonight. But I might have to move my streams for the next few days just onto Twitch due to this issue. Yeah, due to this issue, I might just have to move streams to Twitch for the time being. Maybe. I'm gonna have to check a few things though. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep on going, but yeah, I'm getting a lot of weird errors while streaming right now. At least the good news is starting to dawn on me. I've got a job. I've got a job. I have some free time. There's nothing pressing that I have to get done today, so I can take my time doing whatever I want. It will be my first free moment before my week is structured and organized. With my shifts established and steady, I think it might be nice to revisit some place I already saw. After all, it might be the last time in a while before I'm able to go there again. Yep, let's visit the bay. I'm not really expecting to see Sune down here tonight, or anyone for that matter, but the serenity of the bay is still alluring. It's good to get some fresh air too. There's little reason for me to keep with traditional exercise. I lost the ability to change or develop a long time ago, but stretching my legs is nice after being cooped up inside a coffin, and if I'm being completely honest with myself, I wouldn't mind running into her again. Today was a surprise, to say at least, and it would be nice to talk to her again without being interrupted this time. To be expected, the walk down the hill is peaceful and quiet. At this hour, there's few lights inside windows, and most of the street is dark save for the lamppost. Darting across the sky are fruit bats, one after the other. Despite being so close to the city, there's an impressive amount of wildlife. I became so used to smog-covered cities and soot-dusted trees that I forgot the world used to be so vibrant and so alive. When I finally reach the bay, I look out across the water in hopes I might find her. It doesn't take me long for my hopes to come true. Tonight, it seems she's basking in the moonlight as she's laid flat up against a rock. Her tail has more sheen to it than I expected, with little freckles, dotting it all the way down. She must be getting some sun during the day. At least one of us can get a tan. I decide to make my way down to her with less urgency and surprise than before. Sune! She still looks startled, but before long she spots me and waved me over with a smile. I didn't think I'd get to see you back so soon. I didn't think I'd see you at all. I thought you were on your way back home. I'm no expert in reading people, but I see her stiffen, darting her eyes away from me. Clearly, there's something more than what meets the eye, but I'm not sure how to approach the subject. Whatever brief laugh she went through seems to be over now anyway. The water was so... I can't read tonight. The water was too choppy, so I'm waiting until it's a bit clearer. Better safe than sorry. You wouldn't want to get disorientated again. She shoots me a bright smile. Those were my exact thoughts. What brought you back down here? I wonder distantly if that's a polite way of asking, why are you here if there's no food to feast on? But surely that's simply my mind jumping to conclusions. There's an air of guilt around everything I do, as if I'm not supposed to be doing them. I suppose I shouldn't be. I should have been dead and buried long ago. Now everywhere I go, I'm destined to feel like a trespasser. There's no way Sune is privy to any of that, however. I don't have much else to do. You know, I have quite a limited itinerary. I can sympathize. It's been a long time since I had something to do. That reminds me of our conversation the other night. Speaking of, how long have you been stuck here? It can't have been easy, spending all this time by yourself without anyone to even talk to. She shifts on the rock she propped herself up on uneasily. I suppose I found myself at a crossroads, where whatever I say next could either scare her off or garner results. You don't have to tell me. I'm rather new, but it's still been hard. Maybe I'm rather new, but it's still been hard? It's the truth, isn't it? I find myself lamenting the empty apartment I find myself occupying, hearing the sounds of life outside my window without being a participant in it myself. There's a gaping hole where companionship used to nestle inside me, and no matter what I've done so far, there's no making it smaller. Instead, I find myself wandering aimlessly and going nowhere. Still, feels like an oversimplification to say it's been hard. I don't think it'll ever be easy again. That seems to do the trick, however. Sune is back to looking comfortable, her expression inviting. And the jumping thing's happening again. Yep. We may be moving future streams onto Twitch. I'm gonna finish the scene first before ending tonight's stream, but yeah, we're gonna have a lot of technical difficulties for a little bit on YouTube, so I'm gonna be experimenting with Twitch tomorrow. I am so sorry, by the way, that this game's getting interrupted by YouTube, but yeah, no, YouTube's doing some weird glitches right now. Weird. I've never spent so much time alone before. It looks like she wants to add something to that sentence, leaving it wide open for extra commentary. I tried my hand at encouraging her a little further. But I've liked it, kind of. There hasn't been a day since I was born that I was alone, and that I miss it more. Huh. I suppose that's fair. My wounds are still too fresh to relate, having only just realized how empty the world can be when you're the last remaining relic. But the heart desires what it can't have. It only makes sense that Sune would want an escape from her own life, seeing as she's never known anything different. Is that why you don't want to leave yet? She pales, like she's been caught doing something reprehensible. It wasn't that hard to come to the conclusion that she's voluntarily sticking around here, but it's not like she has to justify herself to me. I've no investment on whether she stays or goes. In fact, I'd much rather have her stay a little longer, so that I can have some sort of social life. It's selfish, I know, but the point is this: she doesn't have to look so shaken. You'll find no judgment from me, but you have to admit, you've not made much progress towards going. I don't want you to think I'm ungrateful, but I see she's trying to find excuses for her own behavior. I think I'm going to sound ungrateful no matter what I say next. Don't worry about it. It's your own business. I'm not going to reprimand you for taking a holiday. Sune finally looks me in the eye, looking far braver than she had previously. At least she sits out in the open. Not that it ever had to be, really. But she doesn't have to pretend that she's left the bay or something. Thanks for that. I don't know why I lied to you before. I feel silly about it now. I've lied about far more inconsequential things than you'll ever know. You had no reason to tell me about it before. I decided to add one more thing. Considering this mystery is far from being solved, even if I do have an inkling on what it all boils down to. But you'll have to tell me more about this impromptu holiday later. Buy me a drink first, and then we'll talk. She shouldn't make frivolous offers when they're the type I'm keen on fulfilling. Have you had a drink before? A drink from up here? I don't really know how any of this works for you. Things are largely the same in theory, but yes. I may or may not have taken someone else's drink when they weren't looking. I didn't know you had it into you. It seems there's a lot more to you than what meets the eye. You'll have to come back again to find out more then. We slide into an easy rhythm after that, bouncing off one another until we both realize we've other places to be. I'll definitely have to ask more about where she runs off to when the thoroughfare has become busy, and how she bids her time. I've grown stir-crazy in the short while I lived here, but then again, she has an entire ocean to keep her occupied, and me, a simple coffin and some trinkets. I take my leave after that, relishing in the fragile connection we made, and the promises of what it's to become. There's a growing number of matters that I must attend to, but right now, it's enough to think of what we can do the next time I see her. Maybe I'll bring her that drink. Alright. I'm gonna finish up this day, of course. But then after that, I'm gonna have to end stream due to the stream issues I've been having on YouTube. Yeah, for the rest of the streams for the next few days, I'm gonna be focusing on just streaming on Twitch to see if that fixes the lagging issues. However, yeah, I don't know why my streams are suddenly, lagging and cutting out a few seconds of stream while I'm live. And also the archive not saving correctly onto YouTube, so I have to re-upload the archive from the copy of my external hard drive. I'm not for sure what the issue is. I think it might be a YouTube issue, but I'm not sure how to fix that though. Maybe I just have to wait till a YouTube update or something, or reset everything in terms of what I do on OBS. I'm gonna figure that out later, of course. Today has felt like a triumph, so as long overdue as it is satisfying. As I walk home, there's little that can bring me down. Where once the world was dimmer. Where the world was dinner. No. Where once the world was dimmer, darker around the edges, has become wide open. It's grounded in a way that I haven't been in recent memory. There's no gnawing hole inside, no hunger, no pain. But I can still feel the edges of it. The shape of it so familiar that it feels stranger to be without it than with it. I could travel 1,000,000 miles and live 1,000,000 years, and I think there still be this backdrop of otherness that I've had to contend with my whole life. What is it to be a person when you aren't? What does it mean to be with when you're without? How can I ever fully leave the past when it's all I am? I try to shake the thoughts away, but they still simmer quietly beneath the surface, lying in wait until I close my eyes to rest. For now, though, Sune's laugh, her smile, her quiet doubts and hidden secrets, they keep me afloat long enough to travel back up the hill and into the boundary between awakeness and asleep. That's what the entire city is. It's always awake and asleep, between every empty street, with the air still and silent. There is the brutal thumping of life. It's never restless. I finally feel at ease with the choice I have made to come here. I can't help but wonder, is it the same for Sine? She watches on from the peripherals, obscured and unobtrusive. Is the world she's privy to, the one underneath the surface and away from the beating hearts of men, any different from my own? Deep within, I keep poking at an old wound, one where I'm without family in a brand new world, but that doesn't seem to be the case with Sune. I wonder what wound she sustained to want to run from them instead, or if there was ever a wound at all. And I wonder, too, if she's had to observe life from her perch rather than be included in it. This life, at least. Even as the thoughts swirl by, I can see the unfairness in them, to treat living here as somehow more than down there. I'll have to ask her the next time she's content, and I'll have to satiate my own curiosity at the same time, too. After all, I have as many questions about what brought her as I do about why she stays. As I enter my apartment, it's a state of disrepair more than comforting than I hope it would be. I've come to an agreement with myself. I've secured my place here, and now it's time to secure my life here too. There's no reason to keep myself in this tragic state of feeling sorry for myself, and living between the clutter that threatens to overwhelm me. I know why I've been dragging my feet, avoiding the very things I chose to bring with me. Everywhere I look, every box I feel the pull to unpack, it all takes me back to her. I thought grief would be uniquely human, something that I had lost the capability of for long after my own heart stopped beating. But every day that's passed since I woke up, it's been the undercurrent of my every thought. There will be no moving on without facing reality. I could have done away with every last remnant of who I was before, but I didn't. I decided to remember her, remember our life together, remember everything that I've lost, so now I must come to terms with it. For the first time since I moved here, Sine is the last thing on my mind as I stare at the inside of my coffin. total darkness wrapping around me and turning my confines into an endless oblivion. Even through the conflict of her own feelings, she still seems so content. I want to feel content too. Oh, that was the end of the demo! Oh, that's actually really good timing. Wow! Okay, I really enjoyed that. I do want to see more about this game, as well as figuring out, are we going to see a hunter in this game? A vampire hunter. Thank you for playing. Demo by Georgina Awasopian, with music provided from Freesound, made with support from the Australian government and Scream Australia. Also, my apologies if I mispronounced your name earlier. Coming 2026. Alright, that was a really good game. I enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that. Is the ending screen blank? Can I click anything? Okay. Okay, I was not sure if the ending screen was blank, but yeah. Yeah, so... Oh. Okay, so I am getting some weird, output status updates regarding my Twitch stream on YouTube. Huh. It says that I'm missing like 5 frames, but apparently it freezes and unfreezes sometimes when I'm live. Very interesting. Very interesting. There's a lot of weird things going on with my OBS right now when it's connecting to YouTube. So I'm going to be doing a Twitch experiment tomorrow. But thank you everybody for watching me play Night Shift 1999. And yes, I believe this video is going to have to be archived in video form on my YouTube channel. But yeah, thank you all for watching the stream and watching the archive video. Man, I think my acid reflux is activating. I think my medicine is wearing off. Despite reading a lot of visual novels, I do have like acid reflux issues, so I'm going to take care of that in a second. But yes, I really enjoyed Night Shift 1999. I'm looking forward to seeing more about, you know, the journey that Eastwood is going to be taking in this game. And when it comes out in 2026, I'm going to be sure to see, you know, when it's fully listed, because I'm going to be for sure checking out the game and probably buying it. I'm going to be wishlisting it after the stream, actually. I'm going to be wishlisting it. But yes, thank you all for watching this video or stream. My apologies to anyone who watched stream due to the, you know, lag errors. I'm working on that right now. But yes, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.
Okay.